Hey guys, this is Techno Freak here, and welcome to episode 22 of my custom story creation tutorial for Amnesia Rebirth. And today we're going to be talking about music. Before we start the video, though, it should be a pretty quick video. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that I did reach a bit of a milestone, a couple milestones actually. So this episode is episode 22, which officially means that I've passed the number of episodes that I had for my original custom story creation tutorial for the original Amnesia. I had 21 episodes in my original series for the Dark Descent, and with this episode I officially passed the same number of videos. So I'm definitely happy that we passed that milestone, and hope we can get more videos out going forward about Amnesia Rebirth. But aside from that, we also hit over 1,000 views on the first episode of this series. So I just want to thank everybody for their support, and for all the viewers that have been watching that video, and for all the people that leave comments and always like my videos. Thanks to you guys, the subscribers, and the ones who always ask questions. You know who you are. Thanks a lot for all the support. We're going to keep the series going along, and again, taking your suggestions and everything, and keeping the info coming for you guys. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go ahead and just play ambience music in the level. Of course, it doesn't have to be ambience music. It can be anything you want. It could be like, peppy music for whatever's going on. Mainly, we're just going to show how to play music. I'm going to show you guys how to play the default tracks already in the core game of Amnesia Rebirth. As well as talking about how you play your own tracks that you have in your own custom stories as well. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're gonna go ahead and talk about playing like Amnesia Rebirth default soundtracks and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the root directory of Amnesia Rebirth here, and I'm gonna go in the music folder here. And this is pretty much all the music that's in the game, ambience music, all the upbeat music, pretty much every kind of music. So if we open up one, for example, here, let's do Crash Desert here. You can see there's a whole bunch in here, and they separated by categories and stuff. And you can do the same thing when you add your own music, and we'll get to that later in the video. But yeah, you can pretty much we can pretty much select whichever one of these we want to play. If we click on these and we go to properties, you'll see that the format of the file is an OGG file. If you're unfamiliar with .ogg file, it's pretty much another audio file extension. It's similar to like MP3, for example, but OGG has better compression. Like game developers tend to prefer to use .ogg files because of the compression, and it allows for you to package a lot more audio in a smaller amount of in a smaller file size, which allows for better distribution of their game, or in our case, better distribution of our custom stories. So when people download it to play it, they don't have to download larger MP3 files. They can download these smaller OGG files. So I will be showing how we convert these in today's episode. But if you don't want to convert it, you can use .mp3 files. They do work perfectly fine as well. But my recommendation is to use OGG files. So with that, let's go ahead and play a few of these, see what they sound like. I'll pick whichever one sounds like the loudest, so it's easier to hear when we put it in our level. So let's go ahead and just click on any one. Let's see this one here. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, I mean, you can hear it and stuff. It's it's a pretty quiet sound. Let's try and find one that's more that's more louder and more upbeat. So let's go ahead and try a different one here. Let's see this one. This one doesn't really sound like much. Let's try Desert Heat B. Let's see. It's pretty quiet as well. Let's try this one maybe. Yeah, I guess that sounds pretty decently loud. There's gotta be another louder one here. Let's see. Yeah, let's do Desert Corpse B. I think Desert Chords B sounds fairly loud here. It's only a 12-second clip here, but it should be fine for demonstration purposes. So let's go ahead and use that one. We'll use Desert Chords B. So I'll leave this here open for the meantime. We're going to go into our CodeLight application that we're using for developing our script here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it right in here in this collide area. So let me just go over the collide area for those that are unfamiliar. So if we scroll in here and we go over here, I have this trigger area. If you need to know how to get a trigger area, you click on the areas and you go to the trigger option here. And we have the trigger area called trigger 1, and we have a collide callback so that when the player interacts with the with this collide area, we call a function from our script. We called the function on collide underscore player underscore trigger underscore 1, and if we go to our script file here, you can see we have it right here on collide player trigger 1. And what we're doing right now in this one is we're checking if the alt state is equal to 1. If alt state is equal to 1, it means that the player has just entered the area, in which case right now we're only making it so that the player can run in this area. But we're going to put some code in here for our music, and we're going to enable the music once the player steps in here, and then we're returning false so that this only runs once and the player can't trigger this area more than once. So that's why we return false here. So let's go ahead and talk about the function we're going to be using to play our music. So there's actually two that you can use. Well, there's several, but there's two main ones to play music here. I'm going to show you the simple one first, and then we'll talk about the extended version of that function. So first, we're going to type in music underscore, and then we're going to type in play. So these are the three that play music here. We will talk about the overlay last. First, we'll talk about the music underscore play, and then the play ext. So the music play will just play a track. It doesn't specify too many details about the track. It just pretty much shows you what it pretty much just plays the song without too many variables. So let's go ahead and hit enter. You can see some of the variables here. Let's go ahead and hit enter and check it out. So let me zoom you guys in so you guys can see a little better. Let's go ahead and pull open the function here again. So let's go ahead and hit enter. And first, it's going to be the file name. So we're going to go ahead and I'll put quotation marks here. We're going to put the file name here, but I'm going to copy it from our file explorer in a second. So let's just skip this for now. We'll come right back to it. So the volume, this is going to be a number between 0.0 and 1.0. This is pretty much just what the volume of the track should be. So like if you put 0.5, it's going to be 50% volume. If you put like 0.1, it's going to be 10% volume, and so forth. So what we're going to do here, I want to make sure you guys can hear it. So I'm going to put in 1.0F just to make sure it's nice and loud and that you guys can hear the track no problem. So we're going to put comma space here. And now we're going to have the loop here. So this is whether or not you want the track to loop. If you want it to loop, you type in true here. Since this is going to be our ambience music, we do want this to loop, so we're going to hit true. We're going to hit comma space. And now we need to specify a priority for this track. So if you type in E music prio, these are all the E music priorities. So you can select any of these here. The way they work, pretty much the way they work is if you play a track and it has a higher priority than a track that's already playing, it will stop the track that's already playing and play over that track. They don't really have specified values here. You kind of just gonna have to play with it and see which ones work for you best. In our case, we're doing ambience music, which has a pretty low priority. So if you do start playing like another track with for a big event or a minor event, these will override the ambience music. So we're gonna do just the background ambience music here, and then we're gonna go ahead and close out the function with a semicolon. And now we should specify what the track is that we're gonna play here. So to specify that, we're gonna go ahead and go back to our file explorer here, and we're gonna go ahead and just pretty much copy the name of this file here. and then we'll go ahead and paste it right in here, and we'll hit save. So now we can pretty much load up our game and test this out and see it, and it should start playing and it should work. But there's another command I want to show you before we launch up our game, and that's going to be the stop music, the music stop command. And the way we're going to do it, I think I'm going to put down an area, and when we step in that area, we're going to stop the music. I'm going to open up our level editor again here, and let's zoom you guys out again, and let's go ahead and put down a trigger area somewhere to control when the music stops. So let's go ahead and get our areas here, and let's put a trigger area down here. Let me focus on the top here so that we can place it on top here. And let's get our area, and then let's just go ahead and put it down here. Nothing too crazy. We're just gonna drop it right there, and we'll give it a name, and we'll just call it trigger stop music 1. Just pretty much a random name, but it tells us what it's pretty much going to be doing. And then we're going to go ahead and put in under the collide callback section right here, we're going to go ahead and put player, because we want when the player collides with this area, we want something to happen. And then we need the function name that we want. So the convention is on collide underscore player, and then the name of the trigger area. So that's going to be trigger stop music underscore 1. So that's our name. So now we can just hit copy right here, and it's going to generate the whole function for us, so we don't have to do too much work. We can go back to our script file now. So I'm going to go ahead and save our level editor here, and let's go ahead and go to our CodeLight application, and we're going to do at the bottom of all our functions here, right here, I'm going to go ahead and paste it. So here we have our collide area. So let's go ahead and hit tab here and hit tab here, and just kind of organize these things a little bit here. And now what we're going to do is same as the collide area that we have right here. We're pretty much going to do if, and we'll do parentheses and curly braces, and then we'll do all state. So we're going to check the all state. If the all state is 1, it means that the player entered. If the all state is 0, it means that the player exited. So what we're going to do is we're going to do equals 1. So if the all state is equal to 1, then that means the player just entered the area. And what we'll do is we're going to say else, and then do some more curly braces here, and then we'll just return false here. So we're not really interested in what happens when the player leaves the area, so we're just returning false here. What we really want is to run something when the player enters the area here. So to stop the music now, we're going to go ahead and type in music underscore stop, and we have two options here. We can do stop all, and this will stop all the currently playing music tracks, and you can specify a fade time, so you can specify how long until the track completely fades away. Or you can just do music stop, and you can actually stop it based on priority. So whatever track is playing on that specific priority, it's kind of like a channel. You can go ahead and stop that specific track. So if in our case we have like a background audio playing, we can hit this one and we can specify a fade time here. So this is not quotation marks, this is just going to be a float. So if we want it to fade over the course of, let's say 5 seconds, we'll do 5.0 f, and we'll do comma, and we'll do space, and then we'll specify a music priority. So so we're gonna do e music prio. So whichever one we want to stop, which is the background music, so because that's the one that we set for the one up there, we're gonna select that one. So it's gonna be the first one here, e music prio underscore bgamb, which is ambience, background ambience, and then we'll put a semicolon to wrap it up. And then also if you want to use the other one, that one's actually even simpler, and it might actually just if you don't plan on playing multiple tracks, you can make your life easier and just use the other one, and that's the stop all command. And that one, pretty much the exact copy of the command we just did above would be this, but we don't have to specify a priority because it's just going to stop every track in 5 seconds. Pretty much it'll fade it over 5 seconds. And yeah, so let's clear out this part though. We're just going to use this one here, and since this priority matches the priority we put on the music play command right here, then we should stop the music. And before we start, let's make sure we actually put return false here. We gotta make sure return false right here. So with that, we can go ahead and launch up our game now and check it out. So let's do that. All right, so here we are in our level. So pretty much when we walk past walk into this area here, our music should start playing. And then once we reach the area over there, our music should stop playing. So let's go ahead and test it out. So let's walk here. And you can right away, the sound starts playing. So we can hear our music now. And you can hear it going. And let's go ahead and walk here. Let me just make sure we get it at a point where it's playing. Yeah, there it goes. So let's go ahead and step in here. And now it should just fade away. You can hear it fading away. And the song is gone. So with that, the music has faded away. And now, you can go ahead and play another track if that's what you wanted to do, or, focus on whatever the player is supposed to be doing at the moment. So that's pretty much all there is to playing music. That's how you play just the built-in tracks into Amnesia Rebirth. But now let's talk about how we play our own tracks, what we have to do to get our own tracks in the game. So let's go ahead and hit exit here and go back to our level. All right, so here we are. We're back here. So we don't actually need to do anything here at the moment. We got to do some work in our actual mod folder. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our the root directory of our Amnesia Rebirth folder here. This is our root directory. So our mod is here under mods and under the wake, and then here's where we want to go ahead and set up a folder for us to put our music. So what we're going to do is we're going to do new folder, and we're going to go ahead and just call this one music. It can be really whatever you guys want, but since the developers use music for their folder, we're going to call ours the same thing as well. And then now we're going to go ahead and edit this file here called resources. You can use Notepad to open it. I have it set as my default to open these, but if you didn't have it set to your default to open with Notepad, you can just do open with and then select Notepad. Or if you have another editor like Notepad++, you could come in here and edit that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just open it with Notepad. So this is what it looks like here. You could also probably open this in your editor over here as well. Although we rarely have to really edit anything here, so I don't think it's really necessary to have it in your environment back here. So all we need to do, this resources folder pretty much tells the game, I have stuff inside of these folders, and you need to know where it is. As you can see, we have the maps here. So this is how our custom story knows where our maps are, and our config for when we start up the level or anything like that. It's also here. So we pretty much need to do the same thing. Add another line here for our music. So we're gonna go ahead and copy this path here and just paste it right beneath. And we're gonna go ahead and tab it and get it on the same line here. And we're gonna go ahead and call it music. And then now that we have it called music, because that's the name of the folder, we called it back here. This part here is whether you want to add subdirectories or not. So if you have folders inside of here, like you had a folder called room 1, for example. If you had a folder in here called like room 1, for example, you can, if this is true, it will also look inside of these subfolders for any files as well that it might need to run. We won't be making any subfolders, but if you have a really large custom story, you probably want to organize all your tracks however you want. But by default, you can just leave this true. In most cases, you probably just want this to be true anyways, so leave that true. And now we're going to go ahead and hit save on this file, and we can go ahead and close it. We're done with that now. So now with that, when our custom story starts up, it's going to know to look inside of the music folder for any files that it might need. So with that, we can pretty much start putting music in here now and start playing it from our script. So now we needed a track to go ahead and test this on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys a few places you can get some tracks. I highly recommend you don't use copyrighted tracks in your custom story. So the main reason why, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think the main reason why you don't want to use copyrighted tracks in your music, like for example, like a very popular song that just came out, something on like in the Billboard's 100s or something like that, is because there's a lot of copyright behind those songs. And let's say you have, for example, a content creator, a YouTuber, or a streamer playing your custom story. You don't want that copyrighted track to play when they're like, you know, streaming or playing. You don't know who's going to be playing your custom stories. So I think it's always best to just avoid copyrighted music in your custom stories. But of course, it is up to you guys. You guys can put whatever kind of music you want. I just highly recommend against it. The last thing you want is, you know, people not playing your custom stories, like YouTubers or streamers not playing your custom stories, because they know you use copyrighted tracks and they don't want to have to you know, risk their monetization or risk their stream being partially blocked or something like that. So again, I would encourage you guys to use copyright free music. I have a website here. I'm going to put all the links in the description that I'm going to use today. Pretty much this place is called thedarkpiano.com, royalty free music. That's where I'll put the link again in the description. And you can find some like dark ambience music, piano music, creepy stuff, you know, for your levels. Also, I'll link the original soundtrack for Amnesia and Amnesia Machine for Pigs. So you can pick either one pretty much, and you can pick either of these and download whichever one's here. If you've never downloaded from YouTube, you can use a website like YouTube To MP3 just to download these sounds here. Or if you have the original game, you can go ahead and just copy them off of your original game. They should be in there as well. So just a couple of options here for you guys to get some more ambience music if you don't want to use the ones that are already built into the Rebirth game. What we're gonna do is I'm just gonna find a song here in this website, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in our story. So I'm gonna go ahead and just select dark ambient here. We'll play a few and we'll pick one that I think sounds pretty okay. So let's go ahead and see. This is one of them. It sounds okay. I want probably something loud that easy to listen to. This one's pretty quiet. What about this one? Let's see this one. It's not too bad. Let's check this one, last one here. We'll pick one of the ones before this. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go with the first one here. This one's pretty loud here. So let's go ahead and download this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit download here, and we're gonna go ahead and have it start downloading. So I'm gonna go ahead and open our folder here, and let's see if we can just drag this out here. So I went ahead and copied it out, and here it is. It's in our music folder. So I'm gonna call it AMB1, just for, you know, giving it a quick name. This, I believe this should be in MP3 format. Yep, that's right, MP3 format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open this using a program called Audacity. So if you're unfamiliar with what Audacity is, it's a very popular audio editing program. I'll paste the link right here so you guys can see. It's a popular audio editing software. You obviously don't have to use this. You can use whatever program you want. But I'll link this in the description as well. I might actually do a video sometime about making ambience music using this software. I did do it in my previous series, so I kind of wanted to do it in this series as well. But again, that's completely up to you if you want to do this step. I want to convert it to an OGG. Of course, again, you can use an online converter instead of using a software, so completely up to you guys. But I'm going to show that now. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on it here, and I'm going to go ahead and open this with Audacity here. And this is the same software I used to record all my recordings as well. So it's pretty, like I said, it's a pretty popular program here. So this is pretty much what it looks like. I have a theme on here, so you probably won't have this dark theme on yours. And we can pretty much go ahead and you know, jump around to the track and everything like that and play it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and hit File, Export, and we're gonna do Export as OGG. And again, you can edit anything you want here before you export and whatnot. But I'm not gonna be editing anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and just put this in our story here. So let me go ahead and just navigate to our custom story here. So let me just get there first. And again, I'm just going to drop in the same folder that the current MP3 file is. So that's going to be in the mods folder, the wake, and then music, and we're going to call it the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, and I'm going to hit OK. So there it is. It's exporting right now to an OGG file. So let's give it a second to complete. Running a little slower because I am using the program to record this video as well. So it looks like it's just taking a little bit longer than normal. But normally this goes through pretty quickly. And there it goes. It's done now. So we can go ahead and close this now. And you can save it as a project if you want, but I'm just going to hit no. So now we have it here. So if we hit properties here, you can see there's our OGG file. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete the original MP3 one. I'm just interested in the OGG one. So with that, now we have our custom sound. So I'll go ahead and click it and play it so you guys can hear it. So there it is. It's playing right now. So it's just playing in my player here. Now that we have our music, we can go ahead and play it in our level. So we don't really have to change much about it. All we have to do is go to our code here where we played our sound right here, and all we have to do is just change it to what we want. So ours, we called it AMB1. Typing in the wrong place here, so clear that out. AMB1, and we'll do .ogg. We'll give it the full file extension name, and we'll hit save here. It might work without the OGG. I haven't tried it, but you can test it if you want. But .ogg just to make sure that it will load properly. And with that, we can pretty much load up our game now and check it out and listen to it. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so here we are back in our level. So now we're going to go ahead and cross this barrier here. And again, we're going to get now our custom sound to play. So let's go ahead and walk through. And there it goes. You can hear the sound effect playing. And you can hear it playing and whatnot. And yeah, so you can hear it. And we're going to again stop it by walking in here. So we'll go in here and it should fade away in 5 seconds. And there it goes. You can hear it slowly fading and the song is gone. So, yep, so that's pretty much how you use custom tracks in your custom story. You can pretty much download whatever you want and use it there. Again, I would stay away from copyrighted tracks and just use, royalty-free music or I might do an episode on making ambience music, so maybe you can reference that one and make your own ambience music. It's pretty fun stuff. So let's talk about the other music play command and just wrap up some of the other functions that you might want to use. So let's go ahead and go back to our editor. Alright, so here we are back in our editor. So now I'm going to go show you guys the other music play command. So it was music underscore play, and it's at ext, which pretty much just stands for extension. This pretty much adds a few more functions you can use here. Let me scroll down here just so you can see all the options that it offers. It's ext here. So it asks for the file name, it asks where the music should loop, asks for the volume, so same thing as the previous ones. Next, it asks for the frequency. So this is pretty much like the speed, the playback speed of the music. So one is standard, so one is just the normal speed. But if you want to slow it down, you can do 0.5 and make it slower. If you want to speed it up, you can do 1.5, make it faster, whatever you guys want to do. Just know that making a lot of these changes on the fly while the player is like playing the game, it could cause lag. So be very careful with how you mess around with these. The other one is volume fade time and how many seconds until the music fades in, and frequency fade time, how much it should be to fade into the song, if you wanted to have some fading, and then same thing as before, the priority and whether or not the song should resume where it left off the next time it's played. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pop it in here. Let's just kind of go through the commands again, just so you guys can know what some sample values you might want to put here. So we're going to go ahead and put in the name of the track first, amb1.ogg. Then we'll do comma space whether or not the track should loop. So let's say it's background, it's ambience music, so we definitely want it to loop. We'll hit true. The volume, typically the developers play the volume at like 0.1, like 10% of the full volume of the track. Of course, it could depend based on how loud your track is. So this is for you guys to tweak with. The frequency, if let's say we wanted to play it at like, let's say we want to play it like at twice the speed, you could do 2.0 F, and this would play it at double the speed. And then the volume fade time, so how long we want it to before the track reaches full volume. So say we should fade in over the course of like 5 seconds, so we could do 5.0 and the track will reach its full volume in 5 seconds. Comma space, and then the next one is how the frequency should fade in. So it'll start at like 1 and then it'll slowly speed up to the speed that you specified, which is 2.0. So you could do the same thing. For example, we could do like 5 seconds to fade into the full frequency that we specified. Then we specify a priority. This one's pretty much going to be the same thing as the other one. It's going to be E music prio BG AMB. And then whether or not the track should resume if it stops. So if you stop a track, you can resume it. You can resume it if you have this toggle to be true. So you can set this to true, and then the music will resume where it left off if you ever play it again. And then that's pretty much it. So this is pretty much an extension of the original command. Gives you a little bit more control over your music. I encourage you guys to use this when you need it. I feel in most cases this would probably be pretty useful, and you guys should like play around with these, mess around with these numbers, see what they do, and then decide how you want to use them from there. So good stuff there, good stuff to know. And now let's just talk about the remaining functions I kind of want to touch upon today, just so you guys are familiar with what they do. So the other one was the other music play command. So music play overlay. So this one specifically plays a track over a track that's already playing. So if you're already playing a song, but you don't want to stop that song or that track, and you want to just play another track right on top of it, you want to use this command, the music play overlay command. This one doesn't have as much customization options. It's just pretty much the file name and the volume. So if you were to use it, it'd be AMB. Let's say we had another audio that we wanted to play, like AMB2 or something, and we wanted to play this one over the current AMB1, right? So we do AMB2.ogg, and then you can specify volume here. You put whatever volume you want. Let's just say, like, for example, 0.5 F. So then it'll play this track. If there's already music playing, which in this case it would be right here, right? It will play over the existing track. So that that's how you would use that one. And with that, I think, that covers all the functions I wanted to talk about. So those are your 3 music play commands. And down here we talked about the music stop, and again we did music underscore stop all. So you can stop all the tracks if you have multiple. So if you use that overlay command, or if you have multiple priorities playing at the same time, you can go ahead and stop them all like that. So that's pretty much all there is to playing music. Pretty straightforward if you ask me. Pretty good stuff. Start getting your ambience music in your levels, and start bringing that level to life now. With that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up now. Again, thank you guys for all the support that you guys give me. Again, thanks for the 1,000 views on the first video. That's incredible. I didn't think we'd get that much support on the first episode. Let's keep that support coming through all the episodes. Definitely a lot of fun stuff still left to be done. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Let me know what you guys think, or if you think anything should change going forward. We still got a lot of ground to cover, so I hope you guys have a great day, and happy holidays to everybody. Have a good one, guys. Bye.